Right, well, it's time for us to get into the dailies today. And I have been joined on the set this morning by Little Red Riding Hood. Y'all, she's here, Miss Apilko. Hi.
Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't see that until about a minute ago. When I saw you, and I was like, oh, Red Riding Hood.
Red Riding Hood, really? Anyway, I'll take it.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm good.
Welcome back from your leave.
Thank you.
It wasn't retirement, was it?
I'm not ready to retire.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good, you know.
No, I'm not ready to retire. I didn't promise anybody that I was going to retire anyway. So we have a lot of things that's happening in the news cycle. Yeah, many things happening here, and I'll just get into the dailies.
All right, so you have the daily graphic,
I have the daily
right?
graphic,
okay.
yeah. So, declare national emergency on Galamsey. Prof. Adei to President Akufo-Addo. The president did say that he was putting his presidency on the line. I'm not sure if that ever happened at any point. But yeah, now others are calling on him to do more.
Look, this Galamsey issue, we've been talking about it for years now. I keep going back to the media coalition on Galamsey, which was established in 2017, right? And many media houses in Ghana came together, spoke up against it. We were running campaigns, literally hitting the streets because, you know, a lot of people live in the cities, especially in Accra, Kumasi. They don't know, or until recently, they didn't really understand
the extent of the problem.
Precisely, and how it could even affect them, even though they're not living within the Galamsey communities. So putting out flyers and creating the awareness about it.
I remember 2016?
Yeah, 2017, Stop Galamsey now.
Stop Galamsey now,
you know? And then we come from that, like you rightly said, the president did say he was going to put his presidency on the line to fight this thing. But you see, I think that all the people involved, right? And the president, yes, there's a president, but what about the lands minister? What about all the ministers or ministries or agencies that have a stake in this, you know? Environmental Protection Agency, where are they? All these people, where are they? This is not an issue that you can pussyfoot around. It's, yes, we understand the dynamics are multi-layered. I mean, you go to the Galamsey communities, we've said this before, there are cocoa farmers whose children have said, you know, I've seen my mother, I've seen my father live a life of poverty. If Galamsey is going to give me a better life, I'll take it. They say I should go to school. I've gone to school.
Makes sense.
Yes, they say I should be obedient and go to church. I've done that. I've done everything I'm supposed to do, but still, I'm suffering. So if Galamsey is an option for me, I see how people are making a living off of this, and it's good. I want to be a part of it. So it's multi-layered, right? Then you also have the situation where there are people with authority and power who are involved in this thing, right? So it is multi-layered, but we can't pussyfoot around it. You can't say, oh, I'm going to be diplomatic about this thing. Let's crack down on it. We do have laws that speak to illegal small-scale mining. That's how this started. Now it's no longer small scale. Once you're talking about excavators, all these big machinery, all these big desilting processes and all that, it's no longer small scale. No, it's not small scale business anymore. So yes, I do think that it's become that necessary. I don't know about declaring a state of emergency, but perhaps we should.
No, but you see, think
the
about...
Ghana Water Company has told us.
Yes, think about what happened in COVID, during COVID, right? EI 64 was set up. And we declared a state of emergency and gave the president even more powers than the Constitution ordinarily even affords him, right? So, and remember that the streets were quiet. The streets were empty. So we can do it if we want to.
But don't forget that COVID is not a human being that will not vote.
Well, anyway.
and let's call a spade a spade.
The problem is.
There's the politics involved in this, where we are constantly thinking about the next election and nothing else. But we need to crack down on it. I was saying earlier, the Ghana Water Company, over the past how many years, we've done so many stories. They've told us about how they're having to spend more and more to purify the water that we drink, that we bath with, that we wash our clothes with. it's becoming more and more expensive. They're having to use more and more alum and other chemicals to purify it. The turbidity of the water, even as far back as 2 or 3 years ago, turbidity of the water is supposed to be at the Mark 5.
Yeah.
We're in the 14,000s.
Yes, exactly.
You remember that?
Exactly. Yeah.
So we have a real problem, and we really need to, you know, sit up and deal with it.
Anyway, let me give you the other headlines here. 39 pick up presidential forms. Wow, 39. Okay. Basic schools. Yeah, basic schools reopen on Tuesday. We have Consumer Protection Bill needs urgent attention. This is coming from the Consumer Protection Agency. And pay 150,000 Ghana cedis to 6 election violence victims, the court declares. So those are
basic schools reopen on Tuesday. And you know, I've been having conversations with a lot of parents, and people are struggling, David. People are struggling. People have to buy new books, new school uniforms, because don't forget, this is a new school year. It's not just a new term. You know, people are struggling, and I fear that if we don't take a closer look at our educational sector and all the things that concern it, including how parents can afford the things that make the education possible, we will be in trouble. I mean, I've been to a couple of communities recently, and parents have said, look, if it gets to a certain point, you know, and my child is not allowed to wear a mufti to school, or then they just won't go to school.
Wow.
Yeah, that's dire.
Yeah.
So, again, some of us, our children are in nice schools, so you may not see it. But even that, parents are pulling their children out of the schools, the private schools and whatnot, because they can no longer afford school fees. And this is not just the school fees, the books, then the supplementary books, then the supplementary material, then the school uniforms, then the clubs, and the fees that come with it. So a lot of parents are quietly just taking the children out of the schools.
If you can afford it, then
because
you
their
can
businesses
do that.
are not doing well and all that, you know. So that just brought that to mind, and it's something that we shouldn't ignore.
Anyway, you have the
all right, so we have the Ghanaian Times here, and big story here. Let's address global cyber security threats to safeguard citizens' digital future. And this is coming from the Minister of Communication and Digitalization. And there's a picture of her there. As for this cybersecurity thing, yes, it is a global thing. And all over the world, people are talking about it. The hackers are becoming smarter. The cyber bullies are getting bolder. The fake news is becoming louder, sometimes more than the factual news. You know, even here, we're seeing people put out all sorts of news cards attributing them to ChannelOne or to City FM, and that's not the case. So we do have a cybersecurity unit. They have been doing some sensitization, I know, but it needs to be bigger, bolder, broader, so that people know what it is. And then we need to be paying more attention. See, we keep saying we are digitalizing. But digitalization comes with a whole new world of evil.
Yes, it does. No, it does.
And we really need to, you know, take a look at that and understand what it is that the world has come to when it comes to tech and digitalization, and then step up the game. You know, we're still playing small field, and we shouldn't be. Then we have here, carelessness, negligence, cause of increased fire outbreak cases in the Upper West region, says the Ghana National Fire Service. Fire. Fire. Parliament approves $250 million facility for energy sector recovery program. And I think that, you know, came yesterday, you know, as a big deal. And then here as well, bondholders urged to participate in exchange offer exercise. And that's on page 20 of the Ghanaian Times.
Okay. Well, I have the Chronicle next, and on the front page of the Chronicle, it says here, MPs insist on using sirens on our roads. Speaker directs committee to include their concerns in new LI. Okay, I'll comment on that in just a bit, but yeah, Fidelity Bank celebrates the resilient spirit of Ghanaians, and Baumia's plans to reduce cost of living, food security, transportation, housing, and energy on the radar. Okay, the scripture for today on the front page of the Chronicle, it says here, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger. I know where this is coming from. You see, so MPs insist on using sirens on our roads. Now, I think this insistence, it's not just tone deaf, but you're to the cries of the populace, but it smacks of entitlement. It smacks of arrogance. When you go to other jurisdictions, right, you realize that MPs and ministers don't even, like, they use public transport.
And some people are even riding bicycles.
Yes, MPs and ministers, they are using public transport. So, for me, it's just that it's a clear sign that we don't understand what it means to serve. Look at the posturing when they are looking for the vote, and then the posturing when they get the nod. Very different, two different human beings, two completely different human beings. That's a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe they need to tell us the reasons why they believe it is necessary.
Work is important. They say that they'll be late.
That is not reason enough. If we'll be late, right? If that is the critical reason, then let's look at how we are fixing our traffic situation in the city. Because it's the traffic that causes it. And then there's that too.
Leave early, that's all.
But I'm saying, if leaving early is a problem, then let's look at how to fix the traffic situation in the city.
Yeah.
You see where I'm coming from. Then what if everybody decides, okay, then all of us have very important jobs to do, so we should all have sirens?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me read a few paragraphs, a couple of paragraphs from here. So, okay, so it starts off by saying that the Road Traffic Amendment Regulations 2024 that was withdrawn in July following public uproar has been relayed. The LI would have allowed members of parliament and others to use sirens whilst driving on our roads. Now, though the new regulation as laid excluded the speaker, MPs and the Chief Justice from using sirens and motorcades, Parliament has been united demanding that they are included. The members from both sides of the political divide took turns to contribute to the issue, emphasizing the need for the House to boldly defend itself and explain to the public the prudence of having such a privilege. You see, so this is what I have issue with. You know, why do you think you need this privilege?
So that's what I'm saying. Then they should explain to us. You know, they should explain. Maybe we don't understand. Because you haven't been an MP before.
No, but you see...
so maybe we don't understand.
No.
But they should explain.
We draw lessons from best practice. We always draw lessons from best practice. So if the reason that you need this is a problem that exists in our environment that does not exist in other jurisdictions, then fix the problem. Don't introduce a solution that makes you obscene.
Yeah, but I'm saying they should explain. Maybe we are attributing problems to or reasons to their demands. Yeah. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But they should explain. I mean, I'm all for, you know, state your case and then let's debate it. You know, after all, we're in a democracy, right?
Yeah.
It's free speech, right? But they haven't really stated a compelling case.
No, they haven't.
So maybe they should tell us, because the couple of paragraphs that you just read from the Chronicle say that the public doesn't understand the prudence, right, surrounding their jobs and why this is necessary. So if that's the case, then they should explain. Give us a five-point
Anyway, I think that the
memo.
Speaker should be separated from the rest of the MPs, because in terms of the hierarchy of the country,
well, the Speaker is
number 3.
Yes, well, right? There's a story on citynewsroom.com. We have it on ChannelOneNews.com as well, where it says that the Speaker and the Chief Justice have been excluded as well. So they are not allowed to use the sirens on the road either.
But I think they should be included. you know, but the MPs know. Anyway,
I think this conversation will go on for a while.
Yeah. Please
okay, so we have here, Baumia promises SME bank for traders. And that's on page 9 of the Daily Guide. Then another student killed. And this is on page 3 of the Daily Guide. And I won't read the story, but just glancing through, it says barely 3 days after a student of the O'Reilly Senior High School, Edward Bokete-Saki, was stabbed to death by his mate, a level 300 student of the Kente Apia-Menka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development has allegedly been killed. Whoa. The deceased, who has been identified by the police as Kingsley Otredako, 26, was said to have been slashed with a machete in his head by one Akwesi Eboa, 34. He reportedly bled profusely and was rushed to a nearby medical facility to save his life, but was declared dead during treatment. And so that's a really sad story coming in there.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, very sad story. Then here, 4 Ghanaians convicted for smuggling 4.5 million pounds of cannabis to the UK. Charlie, this drug business is still booming, apparently.
We're not tired of doing
Still booming. Then Parliament okays $250 million IDA loan. So that's here again. Parliament has rescinded its earlier decision disapproving of the $250 million financing agreement between the government and the International Development Association of the World Bank Group. The motion moved by the Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance, Abna Osei-Asare, and seconded by Isaac Adongo, Member of Parliament for Bolgatanga Central, was approved after a debate, paving the way for the adoption of the Finance Committee's report on the agreement. So that's the Daily Guide for you this morning.
All right. Well, let me take you to the Anchor newspaper. On the front page of the Anchor, we have a few headlines here. It says, policymakers, this is regarding this is Ghana Fair. Policymakers urge to scale up support for local industries. This is Ghana, the exhibition. You can see pictured there the second lady together with some exhibitors. Pollution of water bodies. Why was river wardens not why were river wardens not deployed after recruitment? Please look at the headline there. What is the who wrote that? Okay. No, is it because it's supposed, why were river wardens, right?
Yeah.
Or am I reading it wrong?
No, why were?
Why were river wardens? That's a profound
why were?
Anyway, Parliament approves $250 million loan for energy sector. National development requires upgrade, reset, restore, and restructuring. Okay, and rethinking GES promotion exams. Time for a change. Those are the headlines. Now, I'm curious about this river wardens matter. So, there was a training program, a short training program. There was a deployment at the point of about 100 people or so, and then we've not heard anything. There's not been an addition to that group, and we don't even know if that original group are still functioning. You know, so I don't know. I mean, we keep talking the talk, you know, about dealing with Galamsey, but doing almost nothing. You know, in terms of real practical solutions to solve it.
Well, we need to get serious.
We do need to get serious.
We need to stop playing. You know, so that, I mean, the day break is here. And a number of the stories here we've gone through already. New ally stops number 3, MP CJ from siren use. Deface MPP posters on drip machines. Mahama to NDC supporters. And then Baumia seeks chief imam's blessings. But there's a story on page 3. And it's stemming from the O'Reilly student murder. NAT General Secretary reveals cause of indiscipline among students. The General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, Thomas Musa Tanko, has detailed why indiscipline has risen among students in schools, especially senior high schools. During a phone call conversation on the program Yen in Sempa on Nia FM, Thomas Musa Tanko disclosed that teachers have become handicapped when it comes to character molding for fear of the conduct of parents when they try cracking the whip. According to him, teachers have been advised by the Ghana Education Service and parents not to use canes on students, but only advise them when they go wrong, hence the rise in indiscipline in most schools. And there's a quote here from him: "There are several instances where parents have attacked teachers physically for correcting their words. So we've also told the teachers not to hold canes in school." Now, you know, this conversation about corporal punishment and whether it works, whether it doesn't work, whether it should be, whether it shouldn't be, we've gone back and forth with this. I'm not sure that's the reason.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure that's the reason.
I don't think so at all.
You see, when it comes to young people, it's not just about advising. I think we take this thing out of context. Let's understand that when you have a pool of students in a school, many of them are coming from varied backgrounds. Some of them are dealing with all sorts of things that you as an adult, you probably never imagined and you probably couldn't deal with. So we need to get in the habit, get our teachers to understand, to be able to dig deeper to some of these issues and address them. When students act out, look, as soon as I saw this O'Reilly story, when we started pushing it through our own news portals here at ChannelOne and City, first thing I said was, for a student to go to the extent, or the conversation they were having, or the argument they were having, my father is richer than your father, that kind of thing, to stab the student, and not once, not twice, three times. That student has displayed homicidal tendencies. It is not a normal reaction.
No, it's not.
And it stems from something else, which caning itself would not have fixed. So we need to start, we need to start understanding child psychology and why young people behave the way they do. It's not caning.
I agree.
And it's also not, I'm advising you, stop, don't do it. No. It's deeper than that. When we keep saying that we need to pay attention to having psychologists and all these things in our schools, it's deeper. Some of the students are homicidal, some are suicidal. And some have just checked out of life, even at their young ages. So we really need to think about this. And the generation that has come, don't forget, they're exposed to so much. The internet compounds the problem so much. We really, really shouldn't take it for. Otherwise, we'll have a generation of very damaged Ghanaians. And you think we're suffering now? It will be worse.
I was just thinking yesterday about what I knew at the age of 16, and I'm just thinking that even when I was 16, the internet did not exist as we know it. Do you understand? So I pity, in a certain sense, young people at the age of 16, the volume of things that are coming at you every day and having to process through all of this, So anyway, well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And we're going to take, sports is next. Don't go anywhere.